Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here on the Carsey Show. Um, for today's episode, I wanted to tack on another one for the Sunday thoughts, and I'm just gonna, just kind of spitball and roll with some things that have been kind of irritating me, and just kind of go on a tangent or rant, if you will, for today. And honestly, that's just about like people in minding their own business, in terms with this hyper, connected society that we are, both local to the United States and abroad globally. Um, it just, it's a crazy sight for me to see, whether it be from news or social media or out, physically in the public, just sitting back and listening and hearing all these people whining and complaining or just gossiping about other people's businesses, especially ones that really don't pertain to them at all. It really just befundles me. It goes like so far to the point where we can hear people talking about what's happening across the globe, like what's happening over in China or in the Middle East or you know here in America, from other perspectives across the globe. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a difference between being aware and understanding the situations and environment around you, even when it comes to like politics, what may be affected. Now, there is a difference between all these, you know, just looking outward and understanding and keeping aware of your surroundings, that sort of nature. Now, on the flip side, it's completely unnecessary for one to go out of their way and make that a focal point for their lives. Whether that means changing their lives and their environment based off these, these random occurrences. It it's it's so unnecessary, guys. It's so unnecessary. We could be using all this energy that goes to something that benefits us rather than does nothing for us whatsoever. If anything, it harms us. In some cases, it really does. Because you could be using it for some kind of like, negative drama, gossiping scenario about other people, other people's family members, friends, and then that turns around to come back and bite you in the rear end. Because people talk, obviously, and you're gonna get outed for it. So there's an example of why it could negatively impact you if you just seriously just mind your own damn business. I mean, it's that simple. And honestly, I kind of want to make this like a shout out to a lot of the younger people who have been raised on social media, and it's literally their everyday lives that I honestly I've seen kids that could really care less about the physical world, even if they play sports and all that stuff. That is literally not even their top five of priorities. As kids and teenagers, it's not even the top five. They could really care less. The like first main things is honestly social media presence and status. Terrible to think of and hear, honestly. And what comes with it is people being in each other's business. They got to know what's the new current, what's the latest hype and drama. It's all a bunch of bull, honestly. As you get older, you'll start to realize life has so much more to offer when you start focusing inward on yourself and you start becoming an adult, and then you become really independent and you can start doing all these things that you normally can't do as a kid. But it becomes so much better if you have this mindset of not caring about other people's business and whether or not these people, what they think about you. You will be so much more happier. And it's so much more blissful when, I don't want to say like you're isolated, but in the same sense, it sounds so right when we say, you kind of isolate yourself from not only like physically, among your peers and society, but so much so when it comes to, an online presence and social media. Your life will be significantly so much better if you could just stay away from it and look inward. Stop looking outward. The benefits that you will reap, not only from mental and emotional intelligence and awareness. Oh my God, man! You will feel so much more happier. And this depression stuff that seems to have skyrocketed in the past 10 years alone. Oh my God! I bet you it'll almost disappear overnight. That's kind of like a overgeneralization, but that's the point, though. You kind of get where I'm going at. Because honestly, seeing my childhood and hearing about the childhoods from the people older than myself, it was so much easier when you only had to really focus on your immediate surroundings. That's it. Even now, as grown adults, it's so much more easier if you just focus on your immediate surroundings. We have to stop looking from America's perspective, like what's happening on the East Coast, West Coast, North, South, And then even further, we need to stop worrying so much about the problems of others across the globe when it really has no detriment or benefit to you. If there's no consequences or benefit to worrying about it, to yourself, why worry at all? Why? Why put yourself through that, wasting so much time and energy, when that could be used to something that actually benefits you? There's so much more stuff that you could use that energy on rather than just wasting it away for nothing. We have to really take a page out of the book, out of the people that have lived on through legends and books and folklore. Like, honestly, there's a reason why these people are glorified today, like Alexander the Great, Achilles, and all these people, Not to mention the very characters from the Bible. There's a reason why they still live to this day. That is because they were on a whole nother level, thinking in terms of long term. What is my presence going to leave on this planet? What is my legacy? And that is the ultimate winner right there. They weren't worried about their short-term problems and solutions to their young adult or, their young teenager lives. They could really care less because there was so much more, like they were destined for something greater. And if we had that mindset for every single one of us, wow. How would the world look if we all shared this kind of mindset of the long-term perspective? I mean, a lot of Asian cultures over there seem to lean that way, and it's more like family oriented, which shows why they're kind of doing better than us here in America when it comes to society presence and health and well-being. I don't know, you can fact check me on that, but that's what it seems like anyways from an outsider. But I have a great quote that kind of drives this point home that I would like to share with you. Hopefully you find some real good meaning in it. Take nothing personally, the title here. There is so much freedom in taking nothing personal. Someone doesn't like you? Okay. Someone is judging you? Oh well. Someone doesn't want to be a part of your life anymore? Bye-bye. Too much time spent worrying about what others think of us is when in reality you are the creator of your own life. I think that's such a shorter and sweeter way of driving the point home than what I've been doing this whole time. And one paragraph. It makes so much sense. Why are we worrying so much about others, about how they are living their lives or how they think we are living our lives? Who cares? Who gives a damn? It's all nonsense in the long run. I mean, it doesn't matter because things change so rapidly in today's age of social media presence and, like there's new stuff happening every day. What you did yesterday doesn't matter today, nor will it matter a week from now. So who cares? Live in the moment for yourself. Now, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not telling you to live for yourself every single day, Come on, let's be sort of adultish about this. What I'm talking about is, for your mental and emotional well-being. You gotta learn to, first and foremost, put yourself first so that you can do for others, such as, your loved ones and your friends. You can't go out there trying to do for others if you yourself aren't ready. That's just too much stress, and honestly, that's just it. It's just too much. We've got to learn to make it enough. Put our own mental house in order so that we can afford to do that for others. And the ones that don't want it, when they switch up on us, oh well, take that L and move forward. These things happen. Life is constantly changing. I mean, even much more now today. That's just how the game goes, Always keep looking forward. Don't look back. That's the way we gotta overcome. That's the way we have to adapt. Or else we're going to be left behind and we're going to have so many problems to deal with. I have my one and final note I would like to add on. The definition of anger is emotional punishment you give yourself for someone else's behavior. It's a good one. That is a good one. I really like this because it could go in so many ways. But the one that I like the most is that anger, and all these emotions that can control you and direct you don't really just come from nowhere. Like it just doesn't come out of thin air. It doesn't just happen like that. Now, unless we're talking about people with actual, health problems, that can be the exception for this, for this moment. But especially anger is a tool that can be used against you. And if you don't properly control it, these people who have, done this unto you can use it against you and therefore can control you. And honestly, the repercussions from that is life altering, man. Not only could you, end up being in jail because, what does anger lead to? Violence. Oh, man. And that has so many implications on itself. Going to jail or going to prison. Wow. Oh, well, yeah, because then that anger could just go down a rabbit hole because you can't control it. So it just, someone ends up being dead just because you can control your anger. That's how far it can go. It can take you somewhere where there's no going back. And then now, so much more than just one life is ruined at that point. Now, the reason why this makes sense or stays on topic from what I'm talking about is because it's from someone else's behavior, Like there's these triggers that cause these emotions to arise. That could be from yourself, but more importantly, it's from someone else's behavior, such as people caring about what others do or say. When in reality, who cares? You can control these triggers and you can own them and not succumb to their will. Wear it like your armor. Rise above and adapt. That way you don't ruin your own life over something silly and stupid that will literally mean nothing next week. Someone called you a word. Okay. Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Such a great reference. But it's so true. Like, don't let them control you, man. Being so hyper fixated on what people say or do, especially if it's towards you, don't let it bother you. I bet you it won't happen again if you show that you don't care. That will do so much for you the rest of your life if you can own this tool, Life will be so much better for all of us, honestly. Well, thank you for sticking around and hanging out. If you stayed this far to listen to my rant, I appreciate you. You mean so much. I hope you can take this and utilize it in your everyday life. Spread the word, tell your friends. I just want to help. Y'all stay good. Peace.